Did you know that on average it takes 17 years for a new best practice to become widely implemented in clinical practice? That's a long time. Well, this is Tim from ChiroUp, and I want to show you how ChiroUp helps to expedite that process. We're going to show you 3 ways that ChiroUp keeps you up to date. First, I want to take you on a little behind-the-scenes tour. I'm going to take you into the administrative panel of ChiroUp. This is, it warns me that I'm in the wrong place in case I'm making changes to the system. But this is where we collect all of our new research. So we have a team of 3 doctors and our advisory board who's continually sending us articles, and we're harvesting data about best practices for our 100 given conditions. The way our system works is that when we find a hyperlink, we simply put in the DOI into the Scholar search. Our system then pulls up the link and the Vancouver 6 reference for that link, and then we go into the article and pull out the pertinent information and summarize it. We'll then determine how that information gets disseminated. Does it go into the news feed on your dashboard? Does it go into our Facebook page? Does it get incorporated into a protocol? Does it get disseminated to the Chiro social media where we automatically post content to your Facebook page and Instagram page? Maybe it's the topic of a blog that you'll see on Sunday mornings, or for our premium subscribers it turns into an MD newsletter or an attorney newsletter. So we're taking that new information, those 24 million articles that come out on a yearly basis, determining which ones matter to you. Let's take a look at the numbers that we go through. In November and December, since we're only halfway through January, let's look at the last 2 months. We've harvested 154 articles, and out of those, in the protocols, 80 of those have been incorporated. That means there are 80 clinical pearls that have been dumped into your condition protocols to keep you up to date. Let's take a look at just one of these articles. Let's take one that happened just a couple of weeks ago. This is, January. This came from BMC Musculoskeletal Disorders. It was an article by Wu that looked at what are the 5 predictors to determine should we prescribe an orthotic for a patient. And as it turns out, things like this anti-pronation taping protocol and certain flexibility can determine will this patient benefit from a foot orthotic. I'd say that's a pretty good clinical pearl. Well, this came out just a couple of weeks ago, December 20th of 2019. Now, what happened to this protocol within a day or 2 of publication is it goes into ChiroUp. So once we harvest that information, we now have a new foot orthotic clinical prediction rule, which gives us Wu's 5 criteria, as well as a video of how the biomechanical antipronation taping happens. So rather than taking 17 years, these things are in your face in a big hurry. The way that we'll notify you that those are happening is through your news feed. So be sure to keep an eye on this upper left-hand corner. So anytime that there's something new that comes out, it'll drop in here. It'll tell you that there's a new protocol, that there's a new exercise, a new condition, or a clinical pearl that may impact your practice. The second place that you'll want to keep an eye on is the blog. Down in the bottom left corner of your dashboard, that we publish a research synopsis on a monthly basis. This will be the 10 or 15 most pertinent studies that you'll want to know about. But then we'll detail a couple of the most significant studies each month. So you can simply go into your blog, click the read more at the bottom, and you'll get to see something from Dr. Steele, myself, or sometimes one of our guests, like this one from Dr. Tyler White, who tells us about throwing mechanics for Little League elbow. The other way that you'll stay up to date is by keeping an eye on your condition references. So I would encourage you to go into the condition references, take a look on a regular basis because they're updated. Let's go down to migraine headache, which I just updated earlier today. And when we open up migraine headache, what we're going to see is we can open up the entire protocol. We'll expand the whole thing. We get the assessment and etiology, the clinical presentation of that condition. And let's go down to the references at the bottom. And what we'll see is that in this condition, we currently have 103 references. And what you're going to see is that most of these references, starting here, this one was in November of 18, but from 91 all the way down to the bottom 103, these are all 2019 references. So this is new information about a dozen things that have been dropped into the migraine protocol in the past year to make your treatment more effective. Things like knowing about vitamin D and calcium and how they play into migraines, as well as what it means if a patient isn't able to smell things quite as acutely as they had in the past, another key sign of migraines. The other thing that you're going to like about the condition protocols is that we'll have expert advice videos. So in lumbar stenosis, if we go up to the expert advice video and click on that, what's going to pull up is a video of our top performer in the system. This one happens to be Dr. Vijay Patel from Mount Prospect, Illinois, and he's going to give us a video demonstration of exactly what he does for lumbar stenosis and how he gets better outcomes than the rest of us. The last thing that we'll look at within the protocols is all of our functional diagnoses. So let's look at lower cross syndrome, which is a functional diagnosis. We'll have a webinar associated with it. So if we click on the webinar, we're now going to pull up a video of a tutorial of how to assess and manage that, including the exercises that the patient's going to get at home. So those are ways that we work very hard to keep you up to date. We hope that you'll take advantage of them. We hope that you will find great value in staying up to date, delivering best practices, because if we do that, together we will become the undeniable best choice for patients and payers alike. Thanks for watching.